Fridays and Saturdays. Full menu at burgerking.ky.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 19th day of June 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. We're going to shorten the opening comments this morning because we do have a guest in the studio. To remind you that this segment, the For the Record birthday shoutouts, brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shoutouts. Coca-Cola is available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. If you have any birthday shout-outs, please send them to us. We will certainly acknowledge them during the course of the show as well. But meanwhile, we're going to go directly to our guest this morning. Our guest in the studio is none other than our governor, Mrs. Jane OWEN. She was appointed governor of the Cayman Islands. She succeeded former governor, Mr. Martin Roper, in April of 2023. For those of you who may not be familiar with her, if you may just be newly arrived on the island, she certainly has a wide and distinguished career in government. And we will start with the most recent ones before the Cayman Islands. She was in Bern. She was His Majesty's ambassador and non-resident ambassador to the Principality of Liechtenstein. Prior to that, she was the UK Trade and Investment Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer. 2010 to 2014, she was Her Majesty's ambassador in Oslo. 2006, 2010, in New Delhi. She was the counselor for trade, finance, science, and climate change, 2002 to 2006, commercial counselor in Tokyo, and the list goes on and on and on. And Governor, that doesn't mean that you're that old, but you certainly have a storied career, in the Foreign Service. Good morning, Governor. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and thank you very much for having me, and a very good morning to all of your listeners today.
Okay, we're going to talk about so many. I just need to get this buzz off. That's her WhatsApp number. Someone anxious to call right away. Got that sorted out. So many things happening. We're now, 19 days into the hurricane season. We have been challenged so far, with the rains and everything. And we're coming off a long holiday weekend with His Majesty's birthday parade as well. Can we talk a little bit about that and talk about the new announcements in terms of the King's Awards?
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody who came along to the parade, which was on Saturday morning, and also to our King's birthday party at Government House, which was on Saturday evening. It was lovely to see so many people there and to be able to celebrate what was the official birthday of His Majesty on Saturday. So any people who were, any of us who were watching the television might have seen some of the trooping of the colour going on in London. There were a lot of ceremony going on there, and it was very nice to see His Majesty looking so happy and so well, and also to see Kate, the Princess of Wales, who, as you know, is going through her cancer treatment, and that is ongoing. And I think she has been quite an inspiration to others who are also experiencing those really difficult times. So it was kind of a precious moment to see everybody in London, and it also reminded me, and I think many other people, that some of the most precious things that we treasure in life are actually our health, our family, the friendships we share with other people, and those kind of simple things in life which are actually so important to us.
Yes. I on television, I was listening, watching a commercial, and the saying is, we can't always predict correctly, but we can certainly be prepared. We're into hurricane season, and you did issue your message to the people of the Cayman Islands in terms of hurricane preparedness and for other natural disasters as well. Can you speak to that?
Yes, I know that last week on Monday was a very difficult time for a lot of people with a considerable amount of inundation. And first thing to say is, of course, a huge thank you to the emergency services who responded to that. I think it was an excellent response. It showed that everybody was joined up and able to work together. It was nice to see the regiment out there working hand in hand with the police, the emergency services, the fire, and everybody coming together under the excellent management of Danny Coleman and our Hazard Management Cayman Islands, which is a real beacon of organisation and efficiency within the Caribbean, and it is very much recognised as such in the UK as well, I know. With every single incident like that we have, there's obviously learnings. There have been meetings to follow up on that about the learnings. I think one of the things we've talked about is being better prepared with things like sandbags, which I know that Minister Jay Ebanks, is now working on very hard. So, we are absolutely determined to learn some lessons, but I hope that everybody got through it okay. And it was also very encouraging to see that overall, I think, people were well prepared. We know it's going to be a tough season, potentially. It's always difficult to predict which of these many hurricanes that are predicted. It's always difficult to say which of them if any, is going to be a really, really bad one, but we have to be prepared for it. So thank you to everybody for all of the efforts you're all making to protect your homes, to make sure we've all got enough food and drink and so forth. And thank you to Danny, the Red Cross, everybody else who's helping to prepare the shelters, which are such a great facility to have in times of trouble.
Yes, and the shelter management as well. And, I see, certain chats on social media talking about, shelter management, and extremely, extremely important. And it shouldn't necessarily be restricted to, to any one demographic in terms of, who should be shelter managers, because everyone really needs to pitch in. It is a humongous task because, you're looking at, around the clock duties, working there, because once you're in there and there's a hurricane, there's no coming out as well. So to all of those individuals who have volunteered to be shelter managers, we want to give kudos to them as well.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the amount of volunteers that we've got around the island and the efforts that they make. And I know that if you are a volunteer, one of the most important things to do is to make sure that you've got a good plan to make sure that your whole family, your kids, your pets, everything is safe, because if that's not the case, you can't actually operate yourself as well. So I know that people are taking that into account. And also I know people in the private sector, a lot of our larger companies are thinking about how they can potentially use their own facilities for their staff, for example. So I think that if it was necessary, we would certainly need to be calling on the private sector to come up and do their part as well. And I know that they would be absolutely there for us.
Yes. Now, Governor, before we go to the commercial break, our first commercial break, I know you didn't have the privilege of serving with our first Deputy Governor, the late Mr. Donovan Ebanks, but there are certain things that will take place this weekend as well, starting on Friday. Would you like to speak, to that?
Yes, so you're right. I've heard so much about the Honourable Donovan Ebanks, Donny Ebanks, both before his passing, and my deep condolences to his family and all of his friends and the very great many people who I know knew him and worked with him here in Cayman Islands. I've heard wonderful things about his tenure as Deputy Governor, about how he was very humble. He was very hardworking. He really believed in bringing everybody together and breaking down barriers, and that continues to be a really important principle for us working across government. So I'm very aware that he was deeply, deeply respected, and I will of course be looking forward to going and paying my own respects, both at the lying in state and also at his funeral, which takes place on Saturday.
And the lying in state will be from 10 o'clock until 1 on Friday at the Parliament building?
It's certainly on Friday morning. I'm not sure of the exact timing of it, so I would recommend your readers have a check. But yes, it is on Friday morning in Parliament, which is quite right to enable everybody to pay their respects to a man who had such great standing here in our islands.
Certainly. And we were talking about hurricane season earlier, and I would consider the late Donovan Ebanks, the late Kirkland Nixon, and a current serving public servant, Mr. Richard Smith, who is the director of the Civil Aviation Authority. They, as being the fathers of hurricane preparedness here in the Cayman Islands in the modern era. We always looked towards our fire service and the chief fire officer, because at that time fire officers were called to do every everything. And so Mr. Donovan Ebanks and Mr. Kirkland, as well as Mrs. Smith, they were a tight-knit group who guided the Cayman Islands through many challenges, and the most recent one, 2004 hurricane, Ivan as well. So, he certainly has a distinguished career in the civil service, and, we owe a debt of gratitude to him as well as to Mr. Kirkland Nixon, the late Kirkland Nixon. With that, folks, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Governor Jane Owen will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. And the governor has agreed to take some calls as well. When we return, we'll probably have about 10 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We may try to squeeze in at least 2 callers during that period of time. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
On November the 23rd, 1935, under the direction of Commissioner Allen Woosley Cardinal, Grand Cayman saw the installation of the first telegraph station, followed by Cayman Brac in 1936, through a joint venture with the Cuban government. The building was funded and constructed by the Cubans, and equipment paid for by subscribers and Cable and Wireless Limited. During the opening ceremony, a telegraph message was received from Governor of Jamaica, Sir Edward Denham, and the islands sent their first telegraph to King George V.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Just in time for summer, it's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
The real magic of the Summer Olympics is closer than you think. Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to win a trip of a lifetime to the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. Just grab any 2 8-packs of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at a participating store and you could be jetting off to see the Olympics live and in person. It's an all-inclusive trip for 2. Don't miss out on the action. Find your nearest participating store and enter now. Follow the flames at caymantoparis.com.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Governor of the Cayman Islands, Mrs. Jane OWEN. She has been the Governor of the Cayman Islands since April of 2023. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. I think that's our WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Governor.
Morning.
How are you today? It's so nice to hear you on For the Record. Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning.
Yep. Real quickly, Governor, I hope you're enjoying Mer Island from time you've been here, and I would like to find out how much time it takes for me to see you. I know when Governor Roper was here, the one that you took over from, he gave me like 1 hour of his time in his office, and I would like to find out how does it take me. Do I have to do the same? Because I was told that you would have to give the approval to see me before they can do it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really keen to get around and speak to as many people as possible. So maybe if you give my office a ring, we can find out, where you're based, and maybe we can have a little group meeting as well with some colleagues from the district or other people who've got similar interests to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I will do that today, ma'am.
Perfect.
Will let them know that I've spoken to you.
Thank you
My
very
name
much.
is George.
Okay, thanks, George.
Thank you. I didn't celebrate my birthday on Monday, though. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and continue to enjoy the island. And thank you, Mr. Connor, very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you.
Okay, Governor, there are several other things that we want to talk about, but we'll wait until after the news and we can talk about voting in the United Kingdom. Of course, the registration period was, I think, 1 minute before midnight Tuesday in the UK. But we can certainly talk about a little bit about that as well. But, we will end up encouraging people to go to their website because it can be a complicated process. But with the time that we have left, since we've been talking about hurricanes, we know that in 2004, the aftermath of Hurricane Ivan, that we all learned lessons from that, including the United Kingdom. And as a result of that, they have bolstered their support for the British overseas territories, as far as preparedness is concerned. It's still a challenge because most hurricanes, they're coming from the east, and they're likely to hit other overseas territories before they reach us. So it becomes challenging, when you get to the islands further down, when you've had to already deal with, other issues in possibly other issues in other islands as well. Can you speak to the UK's preparedness for assistance to the overseas territories?
Yes, certainly. I mean, the first thing I would say is that, back home in the UK, it's looking at how we respond to disasters around the world is kind of led by the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office, but with strong support from others around government like the Ministry of Defence and the Home Office and a whole bunch of others. There's a huge effort that goes on in the British government, not least to look after all of the British citizens who are around the world. You can imagine, I think there's about 10 million Brits who are living overseas. So when the UK is looking at this, they're kind of looking at the whole world. And they're also, of course, very, very importantly, looking at the overseas territories and all of our citizens that live in Cayman and other territories. So that's just to say it's quite a big operation, actually. And so we have a lot of people in this sort of consular directorate. And we also have people that we deal with directly in London who are only focused on the disaster management, disaster response in the overseas territories. So the sort of things we look at, we've got a boat in the region, a ship, it's HMS Medway, and that would then be able to respond pretty quickly. We've also got the kind of weight and heft of the Ministry of Defence, who would then be able to send further support out from the UK. And then there's a host of other experts that we can draw on depending on the sort of help we might need. I mean, some of the things I've talked to Danny Coleman and her colleagues about are things like urban search and rescue, or just any kind of search and rescue, actually, which might be necessary in the aftermath of an earthquake, for example, or experts to clear roads and the airport runway. Though I do feel quite confident that we have a very high degree of expertise, equipment, largely thanks to the regiment with some of their heavy vehicles, and ability, with some of the really strong men and women we've got right across our services. And you were mentioning the fire, and actually they're very important in this respect, to actually clear things. So I think in the early response, we would be able to do quite a lot ourselves, but then we would need to draw on resources. You were mentioning, OC, that if this is, all of these things tend to be quite long drawn out, so then you do need people to come and replace this and have a sort of shift system going. So that's another thing we have in mind. The last time we did an exercise across government, very, very recently, just a couple of weeks ago, we were focused on the recovery period, because I think that's one of the things we're very aware we want to continue to get better at, is how we go through, the first few days after a disaster, the first couple of weeks, and how we get back on our feet, because that's when people need to be reassured. We all need to be reassured that we can get power and the phones and the water and the supplies and the transport in and out, getting back as fast as we possibly can. And so,
how we prioritize that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think a very strong priority, of course, would be the airport and the port, because we have, we're very conscious that getting supplies, but also people in to help us, as well as maybe getting some people out. There are a lot of people I know leave before a disaster if we know that it's coming. Those transport links are probably the top priority after, of course, saving and protecting life.
Okay. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. The governor is going to stay with us after the news. She's going to be with us still. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. O.C. The time is now 8 a.m. brought to you by Foster's Pharmacy.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. We're only a few weeks into hurricane season, and the disturbance in the southwest Gulf of Mexico associated with potential Tropical Storm 1 continues to dominate the wind flow across the western Caribbean. Good news is that storm poses no threat to the Cayman Islands, but that doesn't mean you can't expect some hairy weather later this weekend. Meteorologist with the National Weather Service, Kerry Powery.
Looking towards the weekend, there's a potential for a tropical wave coming in, start from about Thursday evening through Saturday morning and bringing us some showers, some that may potentially be heavy. The concern with this event towards the weekend is the higher than usual tides. Some may associate it with king tides, so there's the chance of some saltwater intrusion in those areas that have historically experienced difficulties during king tides. So adding that scenario plus the rainfall considerations that we're looking at through this weekend put those areas at risk for flooding or increased flooding.
Today is set to be relatively clear, though. The forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with only a 30% chance of rain. As you heard right here on one of Radio Cayman's talk shows, government is opening its newest overseas office, this time in Singapore. Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, has announced that he and a small team will be traveling this weekend to attend the commemorative reception on June 26th.
Cayman Islands has long-standing, valuable business connections throughout the region, and the government is looking forward to strengthening our financial services position while remaining a good regulatory partner globally.
In addition to the official opening of the office, Mr. Ebanks will also attend the Financial Action Task Force plenary in Singapore, where he will attend sessions and side events on subjects that are pertinent to Cayman, such as beneficial ownership. A small delegation he's traveling with will also participate in a Cayman Finance Industry Roundtable to engage with stakeholders on financial services development. The Asia office is one of 3 overseas offices under the ministry's remit. The Europe office, based in government's long-standing London office premises, began operating in March this year, and the Washington, D.C. office opened in December 2022. You'll be able to catch today's National Conservation Meeting live at 2 p.m. The agenda includes the presentation of several reports related to the Department of Environment's education and outreach efforts, as well as climate change. There's also the much-anticipated reports from the environmental assessment boards for the proposed airport projects on all 3 Cayman Islands, the Integrated Solid Waste Management System, the Port Zeus project in Cayman Brac, and the East-West Arterial expansion expected. You can find the full agenda for today's meeting at conservation.ky, and you can stream it live on the DOE's YouTube channel. Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un have hailed closer relations between Russia and North Korea on a day of choreographed events in Pyongyang. The 2 leaders stood beneath huge portraits of themselves as they watched a military parade. Mr. Kim said he unconditionally supported Russia's military action in Ukraine. Cyril Ramaphosa has acknowledged anger among voters during his swearing-in ceremony as South Africa's president. He admitted his government's failings, saying deep divisions remained between haves and have-nots. Police in the Kenyan city of Mombasa have fired tear gas to disperse people protesting against plans for new taxes. A similar protest in Nairobi on Tuesday saw dozens of people arrested. The Philippines has accused Chinese Coast Guard personnel of being armed with swords, spears and knives during an incident in contested waters of the South China Sea. Beijing said its Coast Guard were professional and restrained. A group of US politicians have met the exiled Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, in northern India. One of the delegation, Michael McCall, said China would not be allowed to influence the choice of the Dalai Lama's successor. Government figures in Britain show that more than 880 migrants crossed the Channel from France in small boats on Tuesday. It's the largest number in a single day this year. Immigration is a significant campaign issue in the British election. India is suffering extreme weather that's caused severe heat waves, landslides and floods. Officials in Assam said a house was buried in a landslide triggered by heavy rains, killing a family of 5. That's the latest. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Introducing the new Shoreline iMap. Discover over 300 plus public shoreline access points in the Cayman Islands by using a new digital interactive map of all the public access pathways and beaches. Test out the new Shoreline iMap today and get walking or driving directions, see 360-degree street views, and find out what amenities are available at any shoreline access point found on the iMap. Dive into a world of coastal beauty and adventure. Use the Shoreline iMap today by visiting gov.ky/shoreline. Presented by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
This is official public weather forecast prepared by the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, valid for June 19th. Today, you can expect partly cloudy skies with about 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 103 degrees. Winds will be east to southeast between 10 to 15 knots. Seas expected to be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Currently, we're under high tide. Low tide takes place today at 1:59 p.m. Sunset at the Cayman Islands, 7:04 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:49 a.m. The outlook is for higher than normal tides are expected, leading to possible saltwater intrusion in certain areas. You can expect locally strong winds and rough seas to increase throughout Thursday evening. For additional weather information, please visit the website www.weather.gov.ky And continue listening to Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM.
I was undercover and had just recovered the stolen artwork, but...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long. I found the art thief in France, but ended up becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. So I had to stick around for a while. But I was able to handle all my insurance needs with CG's online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britgay, where people come first.
Shedding excess weight offers numerous health benefits, including improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, blood sugars, lung function, quality of life, and mood. Each individual is unique, and our bodies respond differently to weight loss efforts. Understanding your body's current state, along with adopting proper nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle habits, is essential for making lasting changes. Meeting with a professional or physician can provide personalized support and help you develop effective strategies for achieving your health goals.
Your health tip was brought to you by Total Health, comprehensive preventative health care in the Cayman Islands.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nixon McLean, Joshua Watler, Caden Green, and Brian Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
If you're a parent, you know that providing your child with a quality early childhood education can be expensive. However, the Ministry of Education offers financial assistance through its Early Childhood Assistance Program to help qualifying Caymanian families cover the costs at registered early childhood settings. Visit our online application portal at moeapplications.gov.ky to learn more and get started. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway. All right, pleasant good morning to the drivers in the Cayman Islands. Traffic has cleared up a little bit coming in from the east. Smooth flowing traffic at this time coming from the east-west arterial, from the Lantern Point to Prospect area. Things will begin to pick up as well in the Lions Center stretch as you head on towards Linford Pearson Highway. However, you can expect some delays in the airport area by Jose's Station. Bit of stop and go as well in the CNB roundabout at this time. And a bit of oscillating traffic by the Shedden Road area at this time. If you're in the Edward Street in front of Georgetown Post Office, this time you can expect a little bit of delays as there's construction in the area. Coming in from the west, smooth flowing traffic, West Bay area. And around the industrial park area, a bit of delays coming in and out of the industrial park. No incidents to report at this time. Once again, do buckle up and drive safe. This is your traffic report brought to you by Subway.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The 23rd Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 30th at the Harkwell Theater. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando.
Here we go again, there's something in this water.
Dream Chasers, Radiance Dance Studio, UCCI Dance Company, Centerpoint Dance Studio, Cayman National Dance Company, and more. Hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part of the proceeds from the Talent Exposition will go to support the training program of the arts. Tickets are available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Prepaid tickets $15 or $20 at the gate. The 2024 Talent Exposition of the Arts, Tranquility, Sunday, 30th June at the Harkwell Theater. Gates open at 5. Show starts at 6. Get your tickets today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Her Excellency, the Governor, Mrs. Jane Owen. The Governor is going to be with us for probably about another 10 minutes, 9 or 10 minutes. If you have any questions or comments, please either send them to us quickly by WhatsApp 925-3261, or the phone lines are still open in the event that you may want to call in. If you want to, you have to quickly take advantage, of that opportunity as well, because we only have about 9 minutes left. Meanwhile, Governor, we know that the UK elections are due to take place on the 4th of July of this year, coming up, as well. And while the whole voting registration process can be extremely complicated, do you have any advice for those persons who believe or may be eligible to vote in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this, but I have been looking at the rules, which are quite complicated. So I think the first thing I'd say is if you're interested in getting more information, you can get it from the Electoral Commission, which has quite an effective website. Just a couple of tips for people in order to register to vote. You should have done that by yesterday.
Yes,
so if you haven't done it already, you're too late. That's the first thing. If you are registered, though, and you're worried about all the papers coming through, you can still nominate a proxy, so somebody else to vote for you, up to the 26th of June. But if you do that, the person who votes is going to have to vote in the place where you were resident in the UK. So that's important. So don't be living in Scotland and nominate someone in Cornwall, because they're going to have to drive all the way up to Scotland. Yeah. The other couple of things to remember are the people who can vote are British citizens. So you have to be a British citizen, and you also have to either be resident in the UK or have been resident in the UK. So quite interestingly, if you'd had a UK address a few years ago, and you are a British citizen, you may well be able to vote, and it is definitely worth checking that. So even if you're too late for this election, it's definitely worth checking it for the future.
Definitely. Now, for all of those persons who are curious to know, what if the government were to change in the UK, from a Conservative to a Labour government? How would that affect the overseas territories, and in particular Cayman, as far as your appointment is concerned? So let's talk a little bit about the separation, of responsibilities there.
Yeah, well, the first thing to say is, for governors, same as for ambassadors in the UK, it's quite different from, say, the US, where people are politically appointed. In the UK, we are all civil servants and have a duty of impartiality. So, if the government changes, I wouldn't change. So that's kind of good news for me, I suppose, and it gives us some continuity.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is that, all parties and all parliamentarians that I've spoken to in the UK have, they have an interest in the overseas territories. They share quite a lot of views on the overseas territories. So, they regard them as important members of the British family. They love the fact that we are, we protect a lot of the environment and the waters, which are the British waters, So I think will continue to be a really strong interest in that. We have some important commercial relationships, and I guess the most important one here in Cayman is obviously those kind of financial services links with the City of London, though a lot of our financial services is linked to North America. So all of that is important. And also, of course, any UK government will want to continue to work with us to make sure that we are operating at the highest standards of governance, transparency, including in areas like finance, and that will continue to be a priority. So in that respect, we're very lucky to have our Deputy Premier, Andre Ebanks, who is also our Financial Services Minister. But we're actually lucky to have an extremely well-functioning government and an excellent Premier, which I think demonstrates the stability and the strength of the government that we have here in Cayman.
Certainly. We do have a caller. Let's go to, is that a WhatsApp caller? Just a regular caller? Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Governor, and good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Delighted to have you on the Radio Cayman, and I would like to announce I carried out 2 celebrations last night for our King's birthday, as I am the person that always used to do it for our late Queen's birthday, and I did it last night for the first time for our King's birthday celebration with 2 ships passing Cayman Brac, and what a sight that was. The ocean was lit up, the sea was lit up with 2 ships passing by, one going to Guyana from Houston, Texas, one going to Venezuela from New Orleans, and the lights were switched on at 10:15 p.m. last night, and as they traversed through Cayman Island waters on their way to Venezuela and Guyana. That was an awesome sight to see those 2 ships. Most of the people that time of night had gone to bed around 10:15, and they passed the east end of the island around 11 o'clock last night. So I want to say I carried out a very nice celebration honoring our King.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that, Governor.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. I mean, it's been great to see a number of these kind of gestures to His Majesty. As I said at the beginning, it was wonderful to be able to have our parade and our garden party on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Monday, I was in the BRAC, where the National Trust and the District Commissioner, Mark Tibbetts, had also organised a really nice event to celebrate not just His Majesty, but the importance of protecting the environment. So well done to everyone who took part in that, and thank you for inviting me.
Okay, Governor, we have about a minute and a half left. I know one of our listeners wrote in and spoke about the fact that a person who had committed a heinous offense was released, and they questioned why isn't the general public made aware, or why aren't we made aware when these persons are released? And of course, we don't have a sex offenders registry here in the Cayman Islands. That initiative could come either from the political end or from another end as well. Any comments on that, Governor?
Well, I do appreciate that people do get really concerned about criminals when they are released from prison. However, the whole prison system is there, of course, to ensure that people kind of pay their debt to society, but also are able to look to the future and to be rehabilitated back into society. While they are doing that, I entirely agree with your caller that it is really important to make sure that we are aware of what's going on and that we are giving the right support and the right environment around that to make sure that people who are re-entering society can do so safely and, very importantly, with the safety of the community paramount. Now, your question is the best way of doing that to make everything public? I'm not sure, frankly, that it is. I think a better approach is to have the experts and the authorities fully on top of what is going on and giving that support and that reassurance and that framework around what is going on when people are released from prison, and that is already happening. But I will follow up with Police Commissioner on this, but I know that he has a system in place in order to precisely to protect the community, but also to ensure that those who have served their time can go back into society and make a contribution there.
Okay, Governor, I know we've gone over time, but I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing I want to say is just thank you very much. It's really great to be able to hear the questions and comments from your listeners. So maybe, next time I come on OC, we can have a bit more of that, because it's really helpful to have that debate. And I know it's something that is very important to our elected officials and indeed to our authorities like the police and everybody else. So it's just really good to be able to interact and hear what people have got to say. There's lots of things on our agenda, lots of things on the government agenda. Most of it is devolved to our elected government and our Premier, which is quite right. And my work, my job is really to look after the areas that constitutionally I'm responsible for, but also to try and do my best to serve and support in everything else. So that's what I will continue to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you spoke about, the biodiversity, of the overseas territories. And I believe with the challenges that we're having here in the Cayman Islands now, as far as our environment and development is concerned, that more and more people are looking to the UK to see whether or not the UK in any way would want to intervene to ensure that we are heading in the right direction as far as our environment is concerned.
Yeah, well, that is also an area of devolved responsibilities, and I would want to respect that. But I do believe that the really crucial thing is to have, a dialogue and a partnership as far as possible, and a real understanding between the needs of development and the needs of the environment. And I believe quite strongly that that is absolutely possible here in Cayman, the same as it is in lots of other places around the world. And the debate feels very similar here to what it is around other countries. But we do need to continue to work to get it right.
Okay, Governor, thank you very much. And you can blame Radio Cayman and For the Record and OC for getting you late to your other meeting. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Thanks.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Stay ahead with Total Health for all your healthcare needs. Their state-of-the-art facility offers specialist consultations, diabetes and weight loss, women and child, ophthalmology, ENT, dental, orthopedics, physiotherapy, on-site laboratory, imaging, and pharmacy all under one roof. Total Health also provides comprehensive health checks for women, children, men, and senior citizens. Conveniently located in the Grand Pavilion on 7 Mile Beach Corridor. Experience a new era of preventive care in the Cayman Islands with Total Health. Because everyone deserves healthier living. Visit totalhealth.ky today and empower your well-being.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment is to ensure our islands consider responsible use of our natural resources while preserving our native species and habitats for future generations. Learn more at conservation.ky.
Can you tell me, what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates!
Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Orrett Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Orrett Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571. This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Extremely grateful for the governor being here on the show this morning as well. One of our listeners made a suggestion, and we normally would do that with the holiday, not trying to find any excuses, but with the holiday and everything, we should have let our listeners know in advance, posted it, that the governor would be on, encouraging people to put their questions or comments forward in advance as well. And we learn from, our shortcomings. We learn from them as well. I was also speaking to the governor about the possibility of spending, more time. Of course, she has a very busy schedule as well, but we're going to work on a show where she will have the ability to stay for a longer period of time on the show and to take more questions and comments as well. Meanwhile, I will share those questions and comments that may have been posed by our listeners as well. I just want to go back to our birthday shout-outs, and a very, very special person celebrated a birthday last week, Friday, and we missed giving her a big, big shout-out, as well. So today we want to give a big shout-out to Miss Carmen. She is always on top of everything when it comes to people's birthday. She remembers everyone, and I don't believe she has them written down at all. She just stores them in her memory bank in her head, and she celebrated a birthday on last week, Friday, and we want to wish her a belated happy birthday. One of the nicest persons in the, I would venture to say, one of the nicest persons in the whole world, extremely caring, extremely compassionate, as well. So we hope that she had a very, very happy birthday last Friday, and I'm sure that her husband Dave would have ensured that she celebrated her birthday in grand style. Of course, she's a modest person, extremely modest as well. So big happy birthday shout out, belated happy birthday shout out to Miss Carmen as well. Okay, one of our listeners wanted to know, and I'll read it, and the person says, good morning to you and the governor. Would love to vote in the UK. Is it something that can be done to find a way out for late registration? Just a question, as most of us weren't aware. Now, don't forget, and I'm no expert on this as well, but I've tried to keep myself, up to date in terms of what's happening. And of course, many of us are British Overseas Territory citizens, but we're also British citizens. And in that particular case, you may feel that if you're residing here in the Cayman Islands, you're British Overseas Territory citizen, British citizen, that you can vote as well. And that is not necessarily the case, because there are still residency requirements for the UK. And I would say to that person, and I will respond also by WhatsApp to the person, that if you go on to bbc.com, in yesterday's publication online, you will find an article about how do I register to vote in the 2024 UK elections. Now, as you heard the governor point out, that 1 minute before midnight last night was the deadline for you to register. And there are no provisions that we are aware of for you to register late. I'll share with you part of the article that was written. It says that the UK will hold a general election on the 4th of July. All eligible voters need to make sure they're registered to vote. And today, that was yesterday, Tuesday the 18th of June, is the last day to register. Here's what you need to know about how and when to register to vote. The deadline to register to vote is 23:59. That's 11:59 on Tuesday, the 18th of June. Registering only takes around 5 minutes if you do it online. It's the same process whether you plan to vote in person at a polling station, by post, or through a proxy voter. So in the UK, they have something called a proxy vote, where someone can vote on your behalf with your authorization. You have to authorize it. So they advise you to go to the gov.uk website, fill out the form, and you'll need your national insurance number or another form of ID and current address details to hand. Students can be registered at both their home and term time address. Term time would be, I guess, in U.S. parlance, at wherever their residence, their dormitories, address, but can only vote in one place. So you can be registered at both your home and your school address, but you can only vote in one place. Voting more than once in a general election, of course, is a criminal offense. You should also check to see whether or not you're old enough to register to vote. In England and Northern Ireland, you can register to vote when you're 16. In Scotland and Wales, you can register to vote from 14. But in all cases, you have to be 18 to actually vote in a general election. I'm going to pause there for a second and say we have made this, similar provisions here in the Cayman Islands as well. We found that our elections law was so rigid and the registration process was so rigid, part of our constitution as well, that you had to be 18 when the registration process began. And don't forget, in the Cayman Islands, we have a permanent registry. Unlike the UK, where you register before election, there's no permanent registry for electors. So if you turned 18 before the election, but you turned 18 after the registration date had passed, you still weren't eligible to vote as well. That means that you had to wait for another election cycle, 4 years, or unless there was a by-election in your constituency, a shorter period of time as well. Our election law was amended that if you're going to become age 18 on or before election day, then you can register in advance, and that makes you eligible to vote. So again, the whole idea behind it is to ensure that everyone who is eligible to register to vote has the ability to do so, and also to vote as well. So if you want additional information in relation to the voting process, but to answer that person's question, it appears as if it is too late for you to register at this point in time, but go to the UK government's website. It's gov.uk, and you can find all of the information there as well. Let's share with you some other questions that we had. One of our listeners wanted me, and of course we missed this because we're trying to monitor all of the messages that are coming in. This person wanted me to ask Her Excellency what her take was on recruiting our police officers from Ireland and Scotland and have them train Caymanians. Good question. I can comment on it, or I would welcome the writer to call in, and we can discuss this as well. I believe that this writer of this is a former police officer himself, and he may have been with the what was then known as the police force during the period when training still took place in places like Jamaica and Barbados as well. But the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has always relied on having senior UK police officers, even some who have retired or in the process of retiring, come to the Cayman Islands to provide leadership and guidance to or recruits or to our police officers here in the Cayman Islands as well. Don't forget that policing has become much more challenging. It is the face of policing has changed considerably as well. We see and we hear in the United States, for instance, when there was the calls about defunding the police, and some took it the wrong way because what many people's idea of defunding was taking those funds and using it in other areas. If a police officer shows up and has to deal with a person who's mentally disturbed, who has mental issues? Do you really want a police officer to be dealing with that? Or do you want someone who's trained in mental health issues, to deal with that as well? Those are the questions to be asked. So policing in the Cayman Islands has changed considerably. And whether or not they have to be from Ireland, Scotland, or England, or maybe from other jurisdictions, as well, based on the many facets of policing nowadays, is a question and something that could be debated as well. Folks, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
This is Winston Connolly, and I work in the financial services sector. I'm concerned about the way climate change is affecting our energy sector. Storms can delay fuel imports and damage infrastructure, and heat waves can destabilize the grid. These issues can prevent Caymanians from using their cars, lights, and air conditioning. To learn more about the climate risks to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. The phone lines are open. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. Or WhatsApp number 925-3261. And to the writer again, yes, we get it. We need to promote in advance those persons who will be guests in the studio, especially when we have such a high-profile person as the governor on the show as well. We need to give you more advance notice that they will be on so that you can prepare yourselves. And fortunately, the governor open to phone calls, very amenable to phone calls. And I don't want to pit the governor against some of our politicians, as well. But she certainly, was much more open than some of our politicians are when they come on air and not want to take phone calls as well. So kudos to Her Excellency, Mrs. Jane Owen, as well. So this person has written and said, please explain the following. Why, when prisoners commit crimes, sometimes even murder, and when they are released, it is said they paid their debt to society. When it's the hard-working society taxpayers, that paid all their expenses for their time in prison. We know that there are some countries in Central America where when you are in prison there, your family better bring food for you each day, as well, because that's how you get fed by through family, and friends. They don't see it being a burden on the society, as well. But here we have adopted a system that speaks about compassion, that looks at compassion as well, and a system that is of the belief that many, if not all, of our criminals, there is some redemptive value to them, as well. And yes, that is why we have courts. That is why we have judges and jurors. When a person is sentenced to do their time for crimes that they have been found guilty of, then while society still sometimes hold that against them, they have a criminal record, and if you're in a small society, people know what has taken place, as well. It is hoped that those persons can then continue on some quote-unquote normal life afterwards. We do have a few callers. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Mr. Connor. I just want to make sure I was the next caller up. I wanted to ask the governor if there was any plans to amend the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to kind of bring it up to a bit more modernization to the climate and the Cayman Islands. I know there's been some off and on discussions about those things, around those things. Sometimes when Mr. McField is on there, but just thinking, and I'm just going to say this, and I'm not specifically directing these comments to any specific person, but just thinking about the upcoming Privy Council case pertaining challenging the decisions of
yes, the Katina Anglin case. Yes, yeah, that the Privy Council has accepted that. Yeah.
Right, and I think that is admirable to have that fight going, continuing and going. But my thing is that there's, I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to dictate and criticize whose fight and who decides what their fight should be or whatnot. But I just wanted to say publicly, because I've said it otherwise, that I think that they're, I wish, let me put it like this, I wish there would be that same type of advocacy, fight, determination to go into reviewing the tariffs and the sentencing guidelines for crimes, especially sexual crimes against our children and our women, especially our children, because we've seen an increase in cases coming before the courts for crimes, sexual crimes against our children. And I am so appalled that this same energy, somewhere, whoever it may be, I'm not saying it has to be the same advocates, but whoever it may be, I wish I had the resources that I could advocate in that sense, because it seems like no one cares about what's happening to our children, especially sexually. And I am just so disappointed, and respectfully I say this, in our legislatures, in our legal arena, and our other advocates, that no one is, our religious and Christian leaders, that no one is coming forward to speak about these crimes against our children, and the numerous cases, to realize that this is something that needs to be looked at with the same energy that someone has decided, I want to take this particular issue that is a concern to me, because it's coming from a religious perspective as well as a legal perspective. And I just wanted to say that I hope someone can come out and advocate in the same the same fierceness, because this is one issue that I don't understand. We talk about the Bill of Rights in our Constitution and everything else, the laws that we have. We need to change the tariffs, the sentencing guidelines. Even if we use the UK's guidelines, it's still not enough to deter these types of crimes that are being committed against our children. And also, lastly, I want to say this again, Red Cross. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call their name. And I was so disappointed again that there's a line that's been created for persons who may be thinking that they want to commit sexual crimes against children, right? There's a line dedicated through the Red Cross for that, when we know that this is something that.
Can you explain that when you say there's a line dedicated to the Red Cross? Sorry, can you elaborate?
There's a hotline that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that my understanding is from reading the release in the press is that someone, for example, if someone is thinking, I'm having these thoughts about doing X, Y, or Z, and let me call someone. Thanks for the consideration of these people on that avenue, but that no one is talking about getting this sex offenders registry up and going. That's another thing I just remembered that I'm glad I mentioned. But that is something we need fierceness and determination and fight for. Also, that religious leaders, government, no one is saying anything about these very prevalent issues, because these types of crimes perpetrated against our children goes towards our children growing up to become addicts and persons that are not successful in society, when we are the people that are responsible for protecting them. So anyway, Mr. Connor, you can hear I'm getting passionate about this. I'll cut off now. I just wanted to publicly say that, and hope it won't fall on deaf ears, because we have an election coming up in April, and I hope our parliamentarians are listening.
But in relation to what you said about the amendments to the Constitution, we're unlikely to see any impetus coming from the United Kingdom in relation to that, unless there is a need to do so because of our Parliament failing to do certain things here in the Cayman Islands. That is, other than that, we're unlikely to see any impetus coming from the United Kingdom. Where the impetus has to come from is from our legislators here. And I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen in when we had the chairperson of the Constitutional Commission on here. They have made so many recommendations, and it has all fallen on deaf ears as far as changes to our Constitution. It seems as if we only get those changes when it appears to benefit those who are in office more than anything else. And I keep criticizing the fact that we wasted an amendment simply to change the name of our legislative assembly to Parliament. and members of the Legislative Assembly now called parliamentarians. All we're doing is feeding people's egos when we do things like that, rather than doing, having more constructive amendments to our Constitution.
I just want to implore all voters coming up for next year's election, you guys, please, instead of just venting on social media or on WhatsApp, you need to hold anyone that's running for public office accountable and let them, politicians can say anything, right? Everybody knows me. They know how passionate I am about issues, social issues especially, that affect families, women and children and senior citizens. And we have, for a country such as ours, we have to come out. This is the most developed country right now in the world, from my perspective, that our people are not coming forward and demonstrating and insisting that our legislatures stand up for what is right. It's not just financial. It's not just tourism. It's not just the environment. There's issues concerning society that goes to the core of the families and children that the government needs to step up and stand up about perpetrating sexual crimes against women, young children that cannot consent under the age of 16 or under the age of 10, vulnerable ages, and no one is saying anything about this. And I urge the voters, hold your legislators or your politicians or whoever decides to run for office. Let them come out and say what they're going to do, and we have to hold them accountable through the whole term. Because everywhere else in the world, a politician has to step down if they're not doing what they told their voters they're going to do. Yes,
Thank you very much. We've gone 1 minute beyond our headline news, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after headline news.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
In court, Patrick Connolly pled not guilty to a charge of computer hardware theft. He appeared before Chief Magistrate Angeline Hernandez, where it was announced that his trial would be held in summary court. A case management conference has been scheduled for July 4th ahead of the trial. Russia and North Korea have signed a deal to help each other in the event of aggression against them. Kim Jong-un has said he fully supports Russia's invasion of Ukraine as Vladimir Putin visits North Korea after 24 years. Putin received a red carpet welcome, including roses, waving crowds, and ceremonial gunfire following his overnight arrival. The Russian president thanked Kim for inviting him to Pyongyang and said he hopes the next meeting will take place in Moscow. The U.S. and South Korea accused the North of supplying Russia with artillery ammunition in exchange for food and military aid. Both countries deny this, but Putin is in search of allies since the invasion of Ukraine turned him into a pariah in the West. After North Korea, Putin will visit longtime ally Vietnam, where he is expected to discuss trade. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
This is Sherry Ebanks, and I work in the financial services sector. I am concerned about how climate change is affecting our beautiful beaches. Sea level rise and changing wind patterns are worsening the erosion of our beaches, and warmer temperatures are causing more sargassum to reach our shores. When our beaches are degraded, our tourism sector and the livelihoods of Caymanians are put in jeopardy. To learn more about the climate risks to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines for a caller who's been holding for quite a while. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, my friend.
How's the weather? How's the weather over there?
Happy belated Father's Day. Oh, we had a good downpour.
Thanks. Same to you.
Yeah, man. We had a good downpour this morning, but it building up here again, so that's beautiful. I wanted to say something to you last week, but I couldn't get on. Yeah, I ran out of time.
Okay.
When you say you had a special member coming on, politician, I was thinking it was Lloyd Sampson, but when I thought, when I realized, I say, I guess it's not him because he would have been recognized already. So I hope he's listening this morning. I guess he must still doing his exercise, but I just wanted to mention something when you were talking just now regarding the prison. And when you said, you took the words right from my mind when you said in certain parts of the world, like South America, for instance, where the families has to feed their loved ones that are in prison. And that is so true. And it puts a burden off of the government that they don't have to spend that expense to feed prisoners in their prison. It's hard enough for them to keep their prisons up and running, much less feed the prisoners that are involved with crime and things that in there serving time. We see where Honduras, I think it is, or one of them South American countries, they are now building a mega prison to house prisoners.
Yeah, you have several of those mega prisons in Central and South America as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't change their laws and regulations in the prison to suit no human being. They stick to what they do, and that makes me come back to my theory of what I was speaking about last week with the imprisonment of these nationals that coming in here that our country puts up in there, how it has to keep them there, feed them, and then send them on their way. I mean, I don't understand why the government goes to that extent of wasting the people's money on these people when they should send them back home. And when we saw they had in the headlines about the migrants are using Cayman for a hub to get to these other countries. Well, see, what else do they expect? That these people trying to seek a better life, or criminals running to a better part of the world to try to get away from being sought out? When they do not have, and I keep pondering on this, we in the Cayman Islands, our system does not have a fingerprinting system. And as long as our system don't have it, we will continue to have migrants coming in, criminals coming in, and taking advantage of Cayman because it's an easier hub to get from one point to the next. And when our government has to take them and lock them up northward and feed them, and then they buy down hundreds of millions of dollars that they spend on housing people up instead of having them sent back to their country. I don't know when it got changed or what difference it got make for who get in there and try to change these kind of legislations, but something needs to be done in this country because we can't continue feeding the world and taking care of the world and everybody sitting down in the poor Cayman and suffering. That to me, it doesn't make no sense. And when you were mentioning that just now, I mean, that hit the hammer hit the nail head spot on.
But
you said that comment.
You're speaking specifically about economic migrants, persons who are seeking to get to other countries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it would take a reversal of our policies and our legislation, because we have enshrined in our legislation now the ability for persons to claim asylum, or to make a claim for political asylum and put them, the process is there for them. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to get it, because you have to show that you qualify for it. But are you saying that we should remove that from our legislation, so when someone arrives here illegally or undocumented trying to get to another jurisdiction, that we should summarily return them to their country of origin?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, OC, because where these people coming from, let me give you a good example. Where these people coming from, if they got spend 2 years in a prison today, or 2 years in a house comes in today like 2 months. So if they got spend 2 years or 3 years in a prison in Grand Cayman, they're well taken care of, they're well fed compared to where they come from. See, those people do not mind staying up in the prison for 2 or 3 years, and when they come out, they can seek asylum and become a Caymanian by paper or whatever. They gotta take that chance. They're gonna take the chance, no matter which part of the world they come from. They're gonna come and try to take that chance, because Cayman, we have an open arm for everybody, but Cayman is not for everyone, and our laws have to change and stop giving these people handouts. The Caymanians need the handouts, not the migrants and foreigners coming into our countries, and government giving them a handshake and sending them, and next thing you hear, they got one big house on West Bay Road or up around Newlands or wherever the case may be. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. They need to do some changes, and like I say, until immigration system, immigration border control, I guess they are now, get that fingerprinting system in the Cayman Islands to try to keep some of these out that our government now spend money on them. Then we'll see the difference. But until then, they need to stop holding people prison and keep them in Cayman. They need to send them back. Thank you, OC.
Thank you very much as well. We do have another caller. What I'm going to do, DJ Lynn, is I'm going to read one comment that we had in terms of a birthday shout out. Go to a commercial break, and then we take the caller after. This way we don't have to interrupt the caller for a commercial break. This person says they wanted to wish Merlene Brown a happy birthday, or a belated birthday. Her birthday was on the 17th of June. And the belated birthday greetings are coming from her husband, Kenrick, and the rest of the family. Wish her God's richest blessings. So belated happy birthday to Merlene Brown, who celebrated her birthday on the 17th. Let's take that commercial break. DJ Lynn, and caller, just hang in there. Quick commercial break. When we return, we will take your call. Please.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
just in time for summer. It's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard the news? Digicel is back with exciting offers that are too good to resist. Activate one of our brand new prepaid or postpaid plans today and experience telecommunications like never before. With more data, dedicated entertainment options like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and endless social text data for all your favorite platforms. Digicel is here to make sure you stay connected and entertained. Whether you are on a prepaid or postpaid, you will also enjoy dedicated roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. It's all about value, and Digicel has got you covered.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is advising travelers to check their passports to ensure all is in order ahead of summer holiday travels. Travelers should check their passport validity, verify entry requirements for the destination, and apply for or renew passports and visas early. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers on hold. Let's take the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning. Good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. I'm good.
Sorry, I spotted your WhatsApp message a little bit late.
Yeah. All what my good friend from the BRAC said was things that I've touched on before, and I support every word that he said, every topic that he brought up. And one of the things, that bothers me is that gruesome killing that took place involving the late Estella Scott. And for those convicted people to be in our prison being treated the way they're being treated, and then they can be wheeled down to the hospital for medical attention, and they get preference over the lady that's sitting there with the little child that need immediate attention, and they can get all this preference and treatment after such a act that they committed on a Caymanian, and yet here in Cayman and being treated the way they're being treated, if it was me, right away, I would have banned a lot of things because of that. And about the feeding of prisoners here with the best quality food, I know for a fact too that in the Honduras area, if you don't have an outside person to assist you, you then will perish almost within the walls of the prison, because the only thing that they gives them is half-boiled beans that if you pelt them, they'll bounce back off the wall and knock you out, and a little rice. That is their diet, period. And now they used to have a prison, like close to, right almost in the town. The new authorities now have closed that, and everybody, no matter what the offense are, you have to go to the prison that is way, way out in the mountains. So those people that used to go and feed them now can't even reach them to feed them. So that is the condition of prisons and other places. Touching on the amendment that the government is thinking of bringing concerning the environment.
The National Conservation Law?
National Conservation Law.
Or Act, yeah.
The Act, yeah. I'm wondering if that could be brought in such a way that it will only benefit government projects. Could it be written like that, where it would only benefit if government wants to do a major project that would be beneficial to the Cayman Islands, say like airport, a major road that would help a hospital or a school, something of that nature. Could it be written like that, OC?
Oh yeah, it certainly could. You could exempt the government from certain requirements that are necessary. For instance, an environmental impact assessment, a study to be done. You could streamline it in such a way that it is favorable to the government. Not to say that they shouldn't have to do one, but whether or not it should be, the same as for the private sector. And that would be my question: do you believe that government should be treated different than the private sector?
Well, when I say a difference being made, it would be basically OC for the development, the benefit of Cayman. Cayman. Just like how you cannot stop the development of Cayman as a private citizen, they would actually require your line, and then they deposit the money somewhere or something like that. That's what I'm saying. I know, and what I'm scared of, if they do change it and was to write it like that, maybe then there'll be a lot of court cases where developers try to take us to court to try and get around it. So that's what I'm wondering, if it could be written like that, and if we could get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, most people,
for the benefit of developments, for the benefit of the Cayman Islands.
And there are two schools of thought, probably more than that, but the major two schools of thought has to do with whether or not the government should be treated differently. And some people believe, yes, that government, there's certain necessities, certain things that have to be done, whether or not you trust your government, whether or not you trust your politicians to be pointing you in the right direction. Hopefully that there's no outside influence other than the desire to advance for advancement for the people of the Cayman Islands and the benefit of the people of the Cayman Islands, rather than special interest groups.
Right.
And some would argue, well, yes, the government should have the ability to do certain things, and the private sector should be held to a different standard.
Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking about. I don't want them to just open it up and then the get out of control with all the suitcase developers,
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All right, see, I got to go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's grab the next caller. I think that's the WhatsApp caller, DJ Lynn. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Okay. That caller may have gone on. So we have a message here. This person says that they would like to send congratulations to LaShawn McPhail on her school 2024 school leaving ceremony, receiving award for outstanding academic performance in electrical and electronics, also for outstanding academic performance in technical drawing. Congratulations. Well done. That's LaShane McPhail. And also it says that today LaShane McPhail celebrated his 17th birthday, 19th of June. Greetings coming from mom, dad, and also brother, auntie, uncles, also from the grandma. in the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. May God continue to bless you always. Congratulations on your awards last night. So, Lashane McFeel, congratulations. Going through the WhatsApp messages because we have several of them. I'm reading them as they come. Okay. This one has to do with the police service. Talk about corruption and things of that nature. Without any proof of anything, I'm definitely not going to read that. This person says, callers, you hit the nail on the head. I am wondering if something can't be done to some of them who are blah, blah, blah. Okay, because, yeah. Let's look at another one. That was miss call. Here is another one. Miss call as well. So those were all of the messages that we had in relation to that. So, folks, we know, and you heard the governor talk about the King's birthday celebrations. Let's go to a little bit of trivia. And how many years this would have been? 58 years ago. 58 years. June the 16th, 1966. The then Queen's birthday celebrations took place, and while the celebration itself was marred by rain in the Cayman Islands, we saw the administrator, Mr. Cumber, as well as Mr. Clarence Thompson, receiving the Queen's birthday honors here in the Cayman Islands. Let me share some of this. So we had a police guard of honor, also members of the Girls Brigade, Georgetown, Bordentown, West Bay, and then we had the Cubs and the Scouts, and the administrator, Mr. Cumber, who arrived at the town hall. Those days it was held at the town hall. Brief ceremony had to be held at the town hall because of the rain at that point in time as well. Went through all of the pomp and circumstances during that period, and the honors were bestowed upon, like I said, the Order of St. Michael and St. George's on the administrator, and Mr. Clarence Thompson, who was at that time the collector of customs. I'm not sure if he may have been in charge of the post office at some point in time as well, but in 1966, he was the collector of customs, and he was awarded the Imperial Service Order known as the ISO. And so he received that. So in terms of Mr. J.A. Cumber, it was announced J.A. Cumber has been made a commander of the Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, and Mr. Clarence Vernon Thompson, Collector of Customs, awarded Imperial Service. Citation for the Administrator's Award hadn't arrived at that point in time. About Mr. Clarence Vernon Thompson, he was born in the Cayman Islands in 1909 and educated in Grand Cayman and in Jamaica. Clarence Vernon Thompson, Prior to joining the government services, he spent some years at sea and also in Haiti. In 1940, he joined the post office as a wireless operator, and within 5 years, he was appointed assistant postmaster. A few years later, he was promoted to the office of postmaster of the Cayman Islands, where he remained until the end of December 1965, when he was transferred to the Customs Department as collector of customs and receiver of wrecks. Throughout his service, Clarence Vernon Thompson showed outstanding qualities. During World War II, when still a very junior officer, he was primarily responsible for the maintenance of vital radio communications from the Cayman Islands to Jamaica and the United States of America. And his efficiency as a wireless operator and his ability to improvise earned him rapid promotion to assistant postmaster. During his years as assistant postmaster and subsequently as postmaster, he reorganized the territory's postal and telegraph services and did his utmost to ensure that the three islands were linked to each other and to the rest of the world by a telephone system. Many years passed before his plans for a telephone system could be implemented, but work on the installation of the new system started before he was transferred to the Customs Department at the end of 1965. And it goes on to talk about the fact, well, I have to take a commercial break. When I return, I will share with you more of a bio on Mr. Clarence Vernon Thompson. Folks, we have to know our Caymanians. We have to know who they were, who they are, what their accomplishments are as well. Only quite recently, there was a discussion about a distinguished gentleman in the Cayman Islands who has passed on. I mentioned his name this morning, and some of the remarks being made on social commentary about the man showed the ignorance of some of the populace of the Cayman Islands in terms of those persons who have genuinely contributed to the success of these islands. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Just in time for summer, it's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This is Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, and as the representative for West Bay Central and the Ministry for Sustainability and Climate Resiliency, I am concerned that our islands are at a high risk of loss and damage to seagrass beds. Stronger storms, warmer sea temperatures, and sea level rise can destroy seagrass beds. Culturally and economically important animals like green sea turtles and conch need seagrass to survive. To learn more about the climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Our phone lines are open if you have questions, comments, anything that you want to share with us. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261 as well. So I was talking about Mr. Clarence Vernon Thompson, giving you some of his bio. Also, and those of you who are Johnny-come-latelys, either, young Caymanians or otherwise, there's a old Cayman-style house opposite, I think it is Vigoro Nursery on Crew Road. After you cross, I would say Mr. Ben Ross's house, but then some of you are not likely to know what that is or where that is either. But I believe there's a restaurant that was located right on that bend after you come on that stretch parallel to the runaway, and then that bend in the road. There's about 200 yards up. There's a old Caymanian-style house opposite the Vigoro Nursery. That is the house where Mr. Clarence Thompson resided in. That was his house. He was also a surveyor in the Cayman Islands, as well. For those of you who may not have known that, he was a surveyor also. So one of the renowned Caymanian. We have a couple of callers. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm fine, thanks.
All right. Now, two issues.
Sure.
First one, these nurseries and landscapers, they're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
With the weed whacker, I don't see no guards on those, right? Flying rocks all left, right, and center.
Yep.
Is it the department that take care of safety? Because I know they go on construction, right, when accidents happen and inspect the pools if it head on, with guards and all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not looking after these people on the side of the road? And how long are we going to continue to let them be blowing the garbage in the road? You know, it's time for this to stop. We can't continue allowing people come in here and do as they like, and we just watch it.
True.
You know, it upset me. And then they get on the radio talking about people came on clean, they got fine them and things. They don't want to do nothing. Because if you were going to solve that problem, it was easier to solve. Because you couldn't put a law in place. Anyone can turn you in. You charge $10,000, say, for littering. And the one that record you and bring you in, give them something. Nobody not going to come in and report nobody because they don't have no evidence. They're not going to waste the time. So they don't want to solve that problem. And the next problem is, I hear you start your radio show with, you know, drive careful and things, and speed and everything. Okay, that's fine. I can live with that because I don't think no one needs to drive over the speed limit. But when you have people on the road in 50-mile zone driving 25 and 30 miles an hour with a long string of traffic behind, it's a law there to obstruct in traffic. And why are these police not checking these up? If two things come to mind, they don't have a driver's license and they're on the road driving with bugger license, insurance, anything, right? Or they just buy the license and they're on the road and don't know one thing about it. Because I see them with my own eyes making a right-hand turn and they pull to the center, to the left side of the road when they could pull to the center line and people could go wrong.
Yep.
You know, we could build all the roads in this world. We're not going to solve the problem if they don't start nipping these things in the bud.
Do you believe that we have to have more stringent licensing requirements, that it's too easy for people to go out there and pass the road test?
No, they're buying license here too. They're buying license. Some of them vehicles actually on the road, you see, they got different headlights, red, green, blue. They're not going to offend no white name. They're paying for those to get an inspection, never get inspected. The police could look at a vehicle and say, man, this not road by the condition. Let's check this out. They're not doing nothing. They're just there for the salary, right? And last but not least, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about climate change, this and that. All they're talking about is climate change. They don't have no solution. They got arrested. You stop stressing people about sea rising, because me personally, I don't believe it's sea rising, because if it was, them blowholes wouldn't be blowing that salt sprays across the road like how it's been doing from time our little boy growing up to couple of days ago. I had slowed down.
But the data shows that things are definitely changing. Measurements that were taken years ago, and we know what those were, and we look at them today. We can't deny the fact that it is things are changing, caller.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the heat and temperature are not changing, but show me the level. That's what I want you to show me. You know, man put data out there to make things look good or look bad. Show me, because if it will rise, and them blowholes not going to be blowing, you know. They're going to be underneath the earth. The only how they're still blowing then, that means this western part of the island is sinking from the construction. And then you would see water way up here. They're going with the shoreline. It's the buildings they're putting right up against the shoreline. That's what washing it away. Right? I'm not saying no climate change. Yes, it is climate change. You can feel it. Right? So I want to see we're part of the ocean rising too. If I can feel climate changes, I must see ocean rise.
Yeah, that may not be as visible and may not be as accelerated, as other things that we can see. But yeah.
Oh, so you've been on sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seaman? Okay. I remember I'm a seaman too. I growing up Canada, and we got get 2 icebreakers, break us up. So when that ice, then guys get off the ship and walk all out in the ocean, right? So when that melt rate go, how it now overflow? Yeah, come on, man. I'm not no expert, but I got a little common sense.
Okay.
And I'll leave you with that.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Wattler, Caden Green, and Ryan Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour, Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, JNM Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets. Ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Attention parents and guardians. Registration for Cayman Islands government schools for the 2024 to 2025 academic year closes on June 30th. By law, all children turning 5 by August 31st must be enrolled in an approved government, private, or homeschooling program. Don't miss out. Visit schools.edu.ky/registration to learn more and secure a spot for your child today. This message is brought to you from the Department of Education Services.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. We have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
OC?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good to hear your voice.
Titus, how are you doing?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
Well. Belated Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. And the same to you.
Thanks. And to all other fathers out there.
Okay.
I'm happy to report that last night we were able to have a meeting and form the little committee to solicit input on the proposed amendments to the development planning statement.
Great.
You will hear more about that now from the marketing coordinator, who is preparing a lot of marketing material. So she will be, I'll put it this way, she has a much better radio voice than I do. So, the first meeting is next week, Monday night, at 7 o'clock at the West Bay Chapel, West Bay Church of God Chapel, on Town Hall Road, at 7 o'clock.
Okay, and it's not limited to West Bayers. It's open to everyone.
Everyone is welcome. And the plan is to have at least about 4 meetings between now and the end of July.
Okay.
So we can solicit all the input we can get to submit a full document to the CPA for their review and comment.
Now, what about, will you be seeking an extension of the time to submit, or are you going to go for the deadline for the end of July?
Let me be guided by what kind of response we get to that issue on Monday night.
Okay.
I don't want to say, okay, that I will do it, or it's basically what the public wants, not necessarily what I want. So.
And I guess it'll depend on how far you have reached, how far you have progressed in terms of, what's being put together as well.
Yes, and again, I don't want to say too much now until the marketing coordinator gets her material. But we want to do it in a systematic order. So we're going to ask people who planning on attending to try and read up as much as possible on the document, so that when they come to the meeting, they'll be properly informed.
Yes.
Be able to ask for the appropriate questions, because we'll have to put the meeting structured to only address those issues that are in this document. Going outside that is going to take a lot of time, which we don't have. So I just wanted to put that little plug in for the meeting next week, Monday night, 7 o'clock, at the West Bay, at the Church of God Chapel on Town Hall Road.
Okay, thank you very much, and I want to thank you for putting yourself, forward to help to spearhead this, as well. Obviously, you didn't get the offer from the government. I shouldn't say obviously. I don't believe that you got the offer from the government that I was advocating for, as well, for it to be done. But maybe this will show them, what really can be done when we put all of our efforts together, huh?
Hopefully, sir. But again, I said this is a community-based approach. No politics involved. And I'm sure that issue will come up during the meeting, some politics, but I will try my endeavor best to control it as best as I can.
Yes.
And again, let's just stick to the facts. So, go ahead.
No. I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. No. Just stay tuned for some more info be coming out from the marketing coordinator.
Looking forward to that. And again, thank you very much, and keep us up to date on it. And a little plug that we can give here, in terms of reminding persons of the meeting, just shoot us a WhatsApp message so that we can remind persons as well. Let's say on Friday show, God willing, just send me a reminder, please.
Well, I'm sure again that the marketing coordinator, she will definitely make sure all the media is well informed about the meeting.
Excellent.
Okay, sir.
You have a great day, sir.
And to you.
Take care. We have one more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad.
How was the week? How was the holiday?
Oh, I was in my garage doing what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
So, yes, it was good. I know you got your once you're on your bike, you're in your heaven. So.
Yep. I rode on Sunday though, only on Sunday.
Yeah, my garage is my little heaven. Yep. Oh, see, there was a gentleman on there earlier regarding the traffic, right, that we're experiencing. There was some officers on to the radio show there about 3-4 weeks ago, and I made some statements regarding right and wrong driving on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And my argument was that if you can drive slow, and these people these teachers that are teaching people to drive, if they can drive slow, they stay in the left lane and let the right-hand lane be for people that wants to do the speed limit, which is 40.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that officer was quick to say that right-hand lane is for overtaking, right? And she left it like that. You see, when you get people like that comes on to their show and try to explain things that don't know what they are talking about, right? It confuses people, right? The right-hand lane is for overtaking, yes, but it's also there for you to do the speed limit, which is 40 miles an hour. And as long as you are doing the speed limit, you are entitled to be in that right-hand lane.
Yes, it's for faster moving traffic, yes.
Exactly. So why couldn't they explain that in detail so the majority of people that don't have a clue about driving on the road understand what the right-hand lane is for? And this is where it gets very conflicting and confusing to a lot of the drivers out there on the road, because they give you half of what is supposed to be told and they just leave it like that. But I am correcting her this morning and making her know that when she can come on and comment after I make my points, make sure that she explain it properly and right to the drivers of this road. And she was totally wrong. That's what that right-hand lane is for. And tell them people, the drivers that are teaching these people to drive, stay in the left-hand lane. You're doing 25 miles an hour. Stay in the left-hand lane and let the people do their speed limit that wants to do the 40 mile an hour in the right-hand lane. Leave that open for them. If they want to drive slow, then they come over. We'll see another thing real quick.
Sure.
Until we started prosecuting people for not using their indicators and parking on the sidewalks. I mean, sidewalks are for people to walk on. And they're parking their vehicles all over the parking walkway, and nobody is doing anything about it. And the indicator is the same thing. These are issues that needs to be addressed in this country, OC. If not, things can remain the same, and all they can do is get worse.
Mm-hmm.
OC, have a good morning, OC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colin. I just want to add to that. Someone was relating a story to me the other day that apparently there was a motor vehicle, vehicle accident that took place. One driver ran into the back of another vehicle. Apparently, the first police officer to arrive on the scene and told the person who was hit from the rear that they were at fault. And apparently when another senior police officer came on the scene and the driver related to that officer what he was told, then the senior officer said, no, that was not the case. Now, there are rare, I was always told and taught to a certain extent, if you hit someone from the rear in your vehicle, 99.99% of the time, you are at fault because you should be paying attention to the vehicle that is in front of you. You should be maintaining a proper distance between you and the vehicle that is in front of you as well, so that you have sufficient time to react to any circumstance. Now, if you're driving too close, you have very little time to react. If you're not paying attention and you don't have your eyes on the road in front of you, then that makes it even worse. Now, there could be cases where the person who is hit from the rear may be a contributor to the accident. And I would use an example, for instance, driving on a roundabout where you should, unless traffic is backed up on a roundabout, you should continue on a roundabout. You should not stop in the middle of a roundabout. But even with that, even if you stop, the driver behind you is responsible for paying attention to what is in front of you as well. So while the person may have contributed to it and could be possibly cited, for careless driving or whatever, and they could be a contributor to that accident, the person in the rear who has hit that person from the rear is at fault as well. But we should also bear in mind that not every police officer is a traffic or accident reconstruction officer as well. Some of them may just achieve their basic training as police officers, and maybe no more than that as well. But to tell someone who has been hit from the rear that they're at fault, like I said, very, very small percentage of the time is that the case. Folks, I want to thank all of you who contributed this morning. I want to thank Our Excellency, the Governor, Mrs. Jane Owen, for being in the studio. And yes, we hear you. When we do have guests coming on, we want to let you know in advance who will be on a few days in advance, especially if it is for a limited period of time that the person is going to be on, so that you can prepare your questions or comments in advance as well. Folks, I want to encourage you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by